In Texas, police misconduct rarely sees appropriate accountability and consequences, and most frequently, the Blue Line does everything it can to cover up and to cover for the bad behavior of police officers. I've been following the August 1st, 2019 shooting of Maggie Brooks. Brooks was shot and killed by Arlington police officer Ravindeer Singh, and I just received new government secrets today about this, and I did not want to wait another minute to get it out to you. So this video is a little bit different than what you might be used to on this channel. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, here's the incident.
Nobody. Ma'am! Hello? Are you okay? Is that your dog? Can you get back? 243 shots fired. Ma'am, get a hold of your dog!
It's so sad and shocking. It just never should have happened. So let me tell you what I've learned. So Singh, this is his personnel status report from the state Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. It tells me that he's a graduate of New England College. He is a brand new police officer. He finished his police academy on February 18th, 2019. He finished his police officer field training at the end of June 2019. So he was only a month out of formal training when he murdered his first victim. This, along with a story I'm going to tell you about a Fort Worth officer later this week or next, really raises some important considerations and permutations to our policing public policy in Texas and really across the nation. Are these new young officers prepared? Is the police training acceptable, or does our modern day training actually make them more likely to hurt or kill an innocent member of the public? One of the only continuing education courses Singh took was Canine Encounters, and it was the most recent course he's taken, and it was on February 19th. I just finished reading the state's curriculum for that course. Let me tell you one of the things that it says. Page 5. All right, page 6 on the first real page of the curriculum. It says, talks about deadly force. Now it talks about reckless injury of innocent third person. Even though an actor is justified under this chapter in threatening or using force or deadly force against another, if in doing so he recklessly injures or kills an innocent third person, the justification afforded by this chapter is unavailable in prosecution for the reckless injury or killing of the innocent third person. As far as I can tell, Singh has not been faced with any criminal prosecution. I did a Tarrant County court search, couldn't find anything. I haven't heard anything about it being brought to the grand jury, about the district attorney even investigating it. I don't even know if his own police department's investigating it. Because let me tell you what the police department said on their police report about this. It says on August 1st, 2019, officers responded to a call for service. During the call, shots were fired and one individual was left deceased. Now, who wrote that? That is Detective Spencer M. Simons. He's just a pretty new police officer too. I think he started in 2012 or 2013. Typical Blue Lion officer. Blue Lion officer altogether. Who fired the shots? They're so chicken, they're so abusive, they won't even admit that a police officer fired the shots and that the innocent victim was murdered, was killed by that police officer. Why is he not facing criminal prosecution? This is something everyone should be outraged about. Where is the outrage? Now, I hear from the police quite often, they say, oh, well, videos and YouTube, it's just for entertainment and people want to see sensationalism or people beat up or whatever it may be. Maybe they're right. You should be calling the Arlington city councilors, the city administrators, off the hook, protesting. Why are they not criminally prosecuting this guy who shot and killed a young woman for nothing? There's no excuses. In the training, it's the first page of the You know, guys, do you want to see change or not? Because as it is right now, the police continue to operate out of control, and that means that innocent people get hurt and killed.
Hello? Are you okay? Is that your dog? Can you get back?
Let's compare what you just saw to verbatim what that training teaches. It says, allow a dog owner or animal control officer, whenever the owner or an animal control officer is present and it is feasible, the reasonable opportunity to control or remove a dog from the immediate area in order to permit a law enforcement officer to discharge his or her duties. Was Maggie Brooks offered any sort of a reasonable opportunity before shots fired, killing her?
Ma'am, get a hold of your dog.
I don't think the opportunity after she was already mortally wounded is adequate or reasonable. The training provides bullet points of what the officers should do. It says, seize all forward movement and turn to the side, keeping arms at side to appear less threatening to the dog. Never stare. Speak calmly to the dog in a friendly tone while scanning the surroundings for escape routes that will not bring the officer closer to the dog and for barriers that can be used for protection in case of escalation. Now, what did we see? Did he remain silent or calm? No, he yelled in a very threatening manner at the dog's owner. Do not yell or scream and never run. Well, there you go. Brace yourself. A canine attacking at a full run is no match for a human. Stay calm and loose, bracing yourself just before impact. Try a sidestepping maneuver to avoid impact. But let me read the very first paragraph that started this section. It says, force continuum principles can be applied to dogs. Officers should understand that no single dog presents a plausible risk of fatality to an able-bodied adult accompanied by other humans. In fact, only a very few dogs of the very largest types can match the force potential of even an unarmed human. Deadly force was no more reasonable or justified here than when rookie officer of Fort Worth, Aaron Dean, shot and killed a Tatiana Jefferson in her bedroom after he broke into her backyard. Now, the use of force continuum, when you actually go through it up to deadly force for a canine, let me go through that. Physical presence, verbal commands, mechanical repellents, improvised dog repellents, chemical repellents, electronic repellents, physical capture, chemical capture, and finally, deadly force. He skipped all the way, pedal to the metal, boom, you're dead. Unacceptable. While Officer Singh's actions may have been somewhat on the spur of the moment, the cover-up and the abusive and illegal actions of the City of Arlington officials and covering up public information, delaying public information, that was very deliberate. That was thoughtful, and there's no excusing it. Those people should be banned from public service and government employment for the rest of their lives. I spent dozens of hours getting the public information relating to this case, despite all the obstruction and illegal actions on behalf of the City of Arlington. Still, they continue to break the law by refusing to provide me the very same body camera that they provided to others. Even after the Attorney General had ruled on my request, the city still refused to follow the law. On October 31st, I wrote to them, do you enjoy breaking the law or did someone order you to do it? If you are being ordered to break the law, please inform me of the persons giving the illegal directives. The Attorney General specifically ordered the city to release the information I requested. Do it now, or civil and criminal complaints will start flying. The very next day, on November 1st, they released Officer Singh's name. He resigned from the department. That's right, he resigned. They didn't fire him. In most departments, he would have been clearly very easily under the probationary officer time period of just a month out of field training. They can generally let them loose just like that. Instead, they decided to protect their bad Blue Lion officer. And in fact, they became even worse officers doing that protection. It's a government club, a police club, a union club that has to be broken up. Even then, the city waited another week to give me the information I requested. It's becoming clearer and clearer to me that at many cities, they lie and break the law more often than they tell the truth or follow the law. And let me put this into perspective how, with all these laws and all this justice in courts and prosecutions, jails and prison, you would think that someone who kills another would be held accountable. But what all these laws have allowed is for political discretion. If the people in power like someone, They go free. If they don't like someone, it doesn't matter if you've committed a crime or not, you're going to prison or you're paying huge fines. What can you do? I recommend calling the city officials, the city council members, the mayor, the city administration, the police administrators. Ask them what the heck's going on. Why are they covering up for this officer and why didn't they fire him? Next, please help get more information about this. When they delay information for months and months, it makes it very difficult for the citizens to investigate their own government. Because every iteration, if it's another half a year down the road, you really can't dig very deep before you just simply run out of time. So, all of their training records, are they using fear-based training? What kind of training did this officer receive? I would want the communications and personnel files for all the instructors, the police administrators, the field training officers, the supervisors. It's time to start understanding why innocents are being killed by the police. I think that it's a systematic problem. I think that there are definitely some people who shouldn't be into law enforcement, but overall, it's a cultural, systematic, organizational problem, and the government and the police unions operating to where it's just okay for the police to kill people because they're the police. And they have a right to go home at night above all else, whether or not they actually even have a family at home. I intend to keep on this story and hold the city accountable for their violations of the public information laws. And I hope to get more information about this as well. In the comments, I'd like to know what you think. What can be done about the police training, the police culture, whether these rookies are even prepared to be out on the streets with a gun and alone. There will be more on this story in the future, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and enable all notifications. Even if you think you already have the notifications on, be sure to double check because YouTube frequently downgrades your notification setting. I look forward to seeing what information you get from the city of Arlington and what the officials have to say in response to your calls. Have a good day.